Hello and welcome guys to a new video on our YouTube channel. Last week we also had a regional, holy shit, locals with winner of Nova. And I was like, well, I guess nobody's interested in fucking Nova lists anymore because we've seen so many. And this week SS4 Vegito got the win, but I got second with Threehan. And since we already have an SS4 Vegito profile on the channel, I decided that I dive back into my beloved, most favorite deck that there ever will be, I guess, for Dragon Ball Masters. Threehan, or Son Gohan for more glory regained. Today, this will be a long one because I love this deck. I guess I can never talk too less about it. I will share with you my ideas. I think the last time you heard me 1 year ago on Damien's channel talking about this deck. So it's been a really long while and I want to show you like my thought process on the anniversary box cards, but also on everything else that came out, and show you my list I played yesterday and afterwards. And this is why you can see like another tab in here. I want to also talk about what kind of changes I would make. So let's dive directly into the list. For 1-drops, yesterday I decided to play Pilaf Shu and Mai. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I also played the new Chilai as a 3-off. In this deck, she's pretty useless. My thought process was the following. If I get floodgated, I can just basically use her counterattack for 1 to draw 1 and use this card in the combo. And then I'll combo in another card from my hand. I'll Z-charge the other card, and then I can tap her for 1 to play her. So she's basically a ±0 in hand because I need to combo another card to re-standard energy. But she lets me cycle through my deck without losing cards in hand. As it stands, I never used her for that effect. There were always things I could do better with my energy in my opponent's turn, being it playing another card or just using the extra effect or something like this. So I guess she's a candidate I'm throwing out of the deck. I think generally speaking, this card is pretty nice if you want to protect your Unison, because for 1 energy you can use her in the combo. So if you're playing the Frieza Goku Z Unison and your opponent tries to clear that, and you haven't seen a Heroic Prospect, for example, you can just use her, make it a 25k in defense, draw 1, and you also Z-charge 1, which is kind of huge, because if your opponent swings on your Unison, you're rarely able to combo a card into Z-charge. But she didn't feel that good in this deck. Still a very nice generic 1-drop, right? Speaking about other cool cards, I think this one is a card that fit perfectly in the deck. We have a Z-Leader now. You can play him for 1, you can self-awaken, which is pretty cool to get into Z-Leader range, because you need to be at 3 life or less. It also lets you Z-charge, it also lets you cycle, so you basically play this card, swing with it, use this effect, Z-charge it, your leader triggered, is untaps an energy, and then you draw 1 and discard 1. Especially this part is also good, because sometimes cards are just stuck in your hand and you want to always empty your hand to draw 3 new cards. So this is a very, very good card. Then, one of the only 2 cards from the original archetype that I considered even using nowadays, and I'll come later back on why I'm not playing archetype anymore. It's a Floodgate. It's the best Floodgate for the deck. It kind of fell off because it only punishes battle card swings. Nowadays we have a Z-Unison meta where most Z-Unisons can even swing twice. Thinking about the Vegito Z-Unison, about Jiren's whole stuff, about Red's Z-Unisons in general, blue Z-Unisons with Dabura and Android 18, so there are a lot of more plays your opponent can do nowadays. He kind of fell off, but to be honest, it's also just cool to combo him and then play him afterwards and then swing with him, and most opponents are very, very scared by this card. So they will pay attention to it. It's still okay. Then we have 4 times the Oop. I think this is a card you always want to include. It's the best thing you can do, especially now we have these like new silver bullets. He does not bottom deck, but he Z-charges. So you can play him for 1. If your opponent has 2 or more energy, you can Z-charge the green silver bullet, or a blocker, or a card that just annoys you, which is kind of huge. And then you have a 20k single swing, and at the end of the turn he vanishes, goes under the leader of your opponent, gives it minus 5k, so that's like a defensive tool you have. And then afterwards he comes back, so even if your opponent is successfully clearing your whole board, he will come back, so you have at least one free 20k swing, no matter how your hand looks like. Pretty huge card, pretty awesome card. I will never want to miss it, and I think 4 is correct. Oh, I spoiled something. Rosé, also self-explanatory. Since this card came out, you will always want to play it. You are very fast at 3Z energy, has 20k double strike that draws a card and bottom deck something 4 or less. This effect got less good nowadays. Most targets are like 5 cost, 6 cost or above. We're in a pretty weird meta at the moment, I would say. But still 20k double strike is pretty good. Then we have a new addition. I'm finally playing Overwhelms. I was never a huge fan of Overwhelms because of my Android 17 and 18 unison I like to play. However, I think he's the best Overwhelm you can play. There are arguments made for the other Bardock, the BT4, BT3 Bardock, that gets double strike when playing him with Overwhelm. But I think in this deck it's quite important to see some cards, especially your secret rare, but also your boss monster. So just being able to draw 2 and drop 1 card that is stuck in your hand is so good. And I never want to miss him. I'm playing him as 4. It can get a little bit iffy if you have like 2 of him in your hand and then a multicolored card and then another black card and you're like, okay, what I'm going to charge now. So 4 is maybe not correct, maybe 3 is correct, but I will test this further. Then onto the boss card package. Whenever a new blue card drops that feels not so good in other blue decks, you can most certainly say that it's brilliant in Threehan, because Threehan is just so awkward in itself as a deck and how it plays. So this card is brilliant. You can just play it whenever you like. So if you don't want to awaken in turn 2, you can just slap him down, swing with it. It's also a really good answer if your opponent tries to punish you with Pilaf Shun Mai. So to awaken, you need to play a Z-Battle card costing 2 and 1 or 2 and 2. You can also self-awaken. You will rarely do against defensive decks because they just don't swing at you. And yeah, if your opponent does some Broly, Omen of Evolution shit or Pilaf Shun Mai and you don't want to lose cards in hand, you can also play him turn 2, bottom deck Pilaf Shun Mai, swing 35k at your opponent, and basically you're delaying your awaken to the next turn, which is honestly fine in this deck, because there are some nice effects here and there you can use as well, and having a turn with 5 energy is always good if you're on turn 3. It's also double strike swing. This is very important against Dormant and green stuff, because green likes to just use Dormant, and then having a 35k double strike swing before botting decking something is quite huge. You can also X-Evolve it on itself to have a 2 times double strike with it if your opponent is on 3 or more energy. This happened, and this is quite funny. Then one card I had high hopes for, the new Vegeta. I have so mixed feelings about this shit, which is mainly because yellow is a thing. So yellow has now the best tools you can imagine. It has a free counter play in Broly. It has a free counter play with the Vegeta, the Z Unison or Unison Vegeta. Both are able to rest stuff. It also has at least Nova, which will hopefully get hit soon. I think Haze needs to go. Here's the 4-drop Sin with Barrier, which is a huge problem for every blue deck who does not have an in-archetype barrier removal. He feels kind of useless there. I mean, the good thing is his first swing will get through, but the amounts of time my opponent responded with a Haze or with some activate battle shenanigan shit, which kind of made him useless, was astonishing. He is good in every other blue deck in combination with Beast, because if you can land a hit with him and then just dump Beast, this is brilliant. In this deck, not so much, because you're just playing with 3 cards in hand. You go down to 2 if you play him, so chances are not that high that you will land a Beast or that you are able to play a Beast. if you don't have him in hand anyway. So, nah, I don't like him that much in this deck. Then we have Beast. I mean, this is an obvious choice for an aggro blue deck. I think this card is so important. Yesterday in our locals, I will talk later about the matchups, I never saw him. I saw him just in one game, and that's it. I was still able to go 3-1 to win 2 games where I did not see Beast at all. Brilliant card. I can't say anything more. I mean, it's the best blue secret. I will definitely get one of the serialized cards. Sadly, Europe does not have regionals at all. We are now down to 3 in-person regionals. I was at Utrecht, but that's it. I mean, we are a German-based team, so going to Italy or going to UK is quite expensive, right? And not everybody of our team or we have time and money to go to every event. I'm hoping for some more online events in the future, or some events again in Netherlands or Poland or Denmark or Germany even. Yeah, we need to see. I think we have too less, not enough regional events. Then we have the second other over archetype card, which is this duo. It helps you a lot. It helps you a lot in defending because oftentimes you will have energy in your opponent's turn by untapping, and then you can just use him to have a 15k combo power. You're drawing a card, then you play him, so you have a 15k beat 6, which is okay. You can definitely use it. You can't combo him. This is the important part. You can't combo him, so you need to attack with him. It's a cool card. It's basically for the finishing swings. He's very huge to use this energy to out of nowhere get very high combo power. This is good. And now welcome to the MVP card of the deck nowadays. 1 year ago, I was highly praising Gotenks. Now Bojack is the better Gotenks. 6-drop Gotenks, basically. When I first read this card, I was never thinking about using it in Threehan because it has a combo cost of 1. This is something you don't want to see in this deck where you want to dump your hand. But this is the best turn 2 play you can do. So basically, what happens in your turn 2, you swing with something, then you combo him in, and you combo another card. So you tap 1. Then you charge the other card, which will lead your leader to untap 1. Then you will play the Bojack for 1, so it's a 2 energy investment. And then you have a 20k dual attacker, which at the end of the turn, bottom decks a card and restands an energy. So you're investing 2 energy, but it's only 1 energy, to be honest, and you have something in your opponent's turn where you can use a Pilaf Shu and Mai, or other shenanigans, like, for example, a Rosé. You can play him, you can even use a Chilai, I will kick her out. You can use Immortal Rivalry, whatever you want to use. And then you untap an additional one in your opponent's turn because you also have your leader untapped. So this card is very brilliant. Also, if your opponent ends on playing, for example, a free negate, token negate or something, there's still a chance you can bottom deck it at the end of the turn, which is huge. We will talk about this part later. I have mixed feelings about this. I was considering also playing the boss monster, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, so this was definitely the MVP card yesterday, together with this one. It's a brilliant card for this deck. It's so fucking good. Then super combo of choice. I know a lot of people prefer drawing super combos, and I can see an argument for that, but the amount of times this card denied my opponent anything is comically. It taps a battle card, it taps a leader card, it taps so many things. It taps blockers, it taps Gogeta Aegis Secret, for example. If my opponent doesn't want to block yet. It does so much, and I honestly feel that this is the only correct choice for super combo in this deck. And by saying only correct choice, I really mean only correct choice. It does so fucking much. Yes, you're an aggro deck, and obviously if you draw cards, this will also benefit you. But I'm a fan of playing as less defense as possible in this deck and still being aggressive. I think this is the only floodgate I have, because I don't think like defending friends is worth even playing anymore. So this card is offensive because of the combo power and defensive because of the effect in itself. I highly believe this is the best super combo for the deck. Pause. And then additional combo power, because we are on 3 cards in hand anyways most of the time. Even in turn 2 we are max on 8 to 9 cards. You can easily extend play lines. You can surprise your opponent when he swings at you with 30k double, and you're just like, okay, I'm using just 2 cards from my hand, these ones, and then I'm out of the swing. It's really good. For the Z deck, pretty simple. Awakening stuff. Z leader 4 times because it's free. You can also use it in your opponent's turn to have a 5k Senzu Bean for free. And then we have this one. This is also the reason why I'm playing Overwhelm nowadays. Because you have a Goku here, you have a Vegeta here, and then you have a, for 1 energy, 2 Z energy, 20k double deflect barrier play, which is really, really good, to be honest. This is something the deck is missing. A cheap activate main double strike play. You're just having 2 energy plays here and there, and then everything else comes in activate battle or does not have double strike. So this one is basically the best you can do. And it has protection all over the world, so chances are pretty high that if you swing with him and you know your opponent does not have any bullshit in battle remove barrier card shenanigans, that it gets its swing through. Additionally, it resets cards from your warp to your drop, which is cool for this card, but also cool for another Overwhelm to set it up more easily. And since you're also paying like 2 Z energy, you have your next free Overwhelm already guaranteed. Then I was going for Cell because I felt like, well, I don't have that much removal. And maybe this happens, especially the Vegeta deck is quite spammy at the moment. I never played it. And I do feel like you can't make an argument for a card costing 3 in this deck. 3 is like your whole energy. And then you just have 1 energy, which means if you draw into your secret, you can't play it anymore. And you always want to play your secret if you feel comfortable with it. So I don't feel like this card deserves for sports here. Even I like these like dual crit thing. Yeah, it's difficult. And then 2 times the extra because the extra is just awesome in this deck. It's pretty easy to set up. You can do it in turn 2, then Bojack untaps an energy at the end of the turn. There are also some nice synergies with a side deck card I have against Unisons. And this effect is also like, you get basically 20k combo power plus you draw 1, which in this deck means minimum 5k combo power as well. So 25k double, 25k combo power for just 1 energy, 3 Z energy, easy. Coming to the side deck, this is my exchange for the Android 17 and Android 18 Unison. If you remember previous videos where I talked about Threehan, I played the Unison to always stay on 2 energy. What do I mean with it? But going to 3. I was always charging the Unison. So I have 3 energy to play my boss monster, my beast, my secret rare. But then I also played my Unison out of my energy to go back to 2 energy. So it's basically, I can charge it whenever I want, the Unison. But I need to play it to get it out of the energy to have 2 energy at the end of my turn. Why do I stick to 2 energy? Because green is a thing. Green's boss monster are still like Father-Son Solidarity, the Gogeta successor thing, Fated Rivals, you name it. Yellow also has its things there. Black has a secret that just comes when your opponent has 3 or more energy. So there are reasons to just stay on 2 energy, but sometimes you still want to use like 3 energies to do something. This card is a better version of the Android 17 and 18 Unison. Because you can charge it. It has energy exhaust, so you will charge it in rest mode. But you can use this card for free in a combo from its owner's energy. And this deck is all about combo power. So what you're doing is, you're charging this one, then you're swinging with anything, basically, doesn't matter. Then you combo like your whole hand, basically. You redraw, see if you have found Beast. If not, you also combo the Cell. And then you charge 1, you untap 1, and then you're at 2 energies again, and stuff is done, if you already used an energy, right? Important, while he is in your energy, you can't restand an energy. So it's important that you just charge him the moment you want to use him. If all of your energy is mono blue, well, one of your blue battle cards added to your Z and J switch up to 1 of your energy. So basically, you charge him, then you play Beast, then you combo him, you're on 2 energy, and got just a 10k free combo power. In direct comparison, obviously with the Unison, you have a Unison. You can do Unison swings, which is cool. The Unison also combos from drop, which is cool to restand an energy. Everything's cool about it. But this dude is just 10k combo power on a swing you need. I will test both. Yesterday he never came up because I never draw him. I'm just testing him out at the moment. On paper he's cool because he's 1 energy less intensive, cost expensive than the Unison, because he just denies you 1 energy because of energy exhaust, while the Unison needs to be played for 2 energy, but I need to see. Then this one is just awesome. Together with the Bojack, together with the Z Extra, holy fucking shit. I think in 2 games yesterday I sniped Unison of my opponent. 1 game against Invoker. I played Bojack, I ended my turn, Bojack triggered. I was bottom decking his Heroic Prospect, I was untapping 1 energy, then Baby triggered from my drop. Since I bottom decked a card, I used my energy to remove him from the game, to remove my opponent's Unison. Just for 1 energy. Nice synergy with Bojack. Nice synergy also with your Broly. Nice synergy with your Z Extra, which also bottom decks something. A really brilliant card in a format where everybody and his mom is running 2-cost Unisons. Really awesome. Then a card I would not consider running anymore. This is basically just the Broly of Evolution, but with giving your opponent the card back to their hand, but also being able to Z-charge this card as well, which results usually in untapping an energy. This is the only reason I'm running it, also you can charge it. This thing was huge when Kid Ku was still a thing. Nowadays I feel like every deck can Z-charge for free without needing to interact, so this card is not very viable anymore. Then we have 2 copies of Koitsukai, self-explanatory, 2 copies of Alto Eevee. This is very important against every yellow deck and every black deck, every red deck, because they just create quadruple strikes out of nowhere, and you don't want to eat a quadruple strike in a deck where you don't have any negates. So you basically dump him with your Overwhelm, with the SS3 Son Goku, with your Immortal Rivalry, whatever. Again, you just place it in your drop, and when the time is right, you just activate it from your drop, and then your opponent still can't swing through with his quadruple strike. Pretty huge. And this one, because we have a Gogeta Aegis player, and he will never play something else but Gogeta Aegis, so I need this one in my side deck for the love of God. I was trying Hand of the Demon God, but then he decided to play Toa, and shuffling back my Hand of the Demon God in my deck, so I'm now just playing this one. My matchups yesterday, I played round 1 against Gogeta Aegis. I don't know why I won this game. I'm be very honest here. He always sees his secret turn 3. He did yesterday again. I was luckily able to always rest it with my super combo, so he was not able to block a swing. I was always resting it. I was dumping my hands in my turn, so he could not activate his Aegis by me discarding a card, but he needed to basically throw a card in his hand away. I awakened turn 3 with this battle card, and in turn 3 he had 16 cards in hand, so he needed to bottom deck 6 cards, which felt pretty good, to be honest. And I wasn't able to awaken turn 2 anyway, because he just gave me Pilafshu and Mai. I didn't want to lose my hand, so I just responded with like Broly, bottom deck it, 35k to the face. He wants to go down to 3 lives anyway, so I don't need to rush. And then, yeah, I cleared the field. I also played this guy, I think. No, I did not play this guy. Yeah, it was a weird game. I was able to go through, and I think the super combo was a very important card there. Really, really important. Game 2 was against Invoker. Another matchup I personally hate, because Invoker is so defensive. It's so fucking defensive, it doesn't do a thing. It was against Darian. A secret rare, I did not again see it. He did see it immediately turn 3, so he slapped it down. He was not able to bottom deck me alive, because I'm usually not having any cards in hand. My opponent has, even though he's giving me something back. I made a huge mistake. I thought that Royal Condemnation is only hitting 7 costs or less, so I played a Broly and he counterplayed it. I was like, oh fuck. I thought I threw the game in that point, but it turns out that he had to invest so much in the early game, like his beast, that he wasn't able himself to close the game. So I was responding to every play he did. He was playing the Great Priest in combination with the God Pad, but I was able to combo out or to rest stuff. It felt quite good. He did not see a single D-Magic the whole game. At the end he was at 15 cards left. I still would argue that our luck was equally good, because I did not see my secret as well, and I did not see specific things in time, like an Overwhelm or like cards with Deflect or anything. He pushed me into going into my Z lead without like having used my leader effect to redraw and to resend an energy, which kind of felt awkward. So I guess we were even on that side, to be honest. Game 3 was against Nova. I finally saw my fucking secret. And this quite early on, so I saw it in turn 2 by awakening. And then I immediately slapped it down turn 3 when he had his Cincian run and play, the 4-drop. Luckily, he used his effect to negate his skills on my Oop already, because I think he wanted to have another blocker. And this way, I was bottom decking him 1 life with Beast, and then I swung 40 crit into him, which he also needed to take. I was restanding Beast, so haste didn't come through. Then I swung again with Beast. Obviously, haste is a thing. So in this game, I think he killed 2 things of me just with haste, just by discarding 2 cards. I think haste needs to go. Haste is too much at the moment. Haste should not be able to like kill secrets for free. I don't feel like this card should exist nowadays. It should go away. At least the combo part. I mean, leave the card alive, but remove the if you combo this card. I don't think it's a good idea that it exists. Yeah, I was able to close the game turn later. He was always playing Bardock, so I was always under the Bardock floodgate. However, Bardock made it also possible for him not being able to play his secret, because I was constantly like removing rest card things. I think after super combo he drew into his secret, but he wasn't able to play it like Gohan Piccolo, because I had just like 2 cards in rest mode or something, and he didn't have any energy anymore. Yeah, and then, oh, I was also able to bottom deck his Z Unison with this lucky guy again. Because I played a Bojack in his turn, and then at the end of the turn I was able to bottom deck him a Shadow Dragon, and then he triggered, and then I removed his Unison, which kinda spared me from this motherfucking free counterplay Vegeta. And then on the last round I played against SS4 Vegeto. If you have a look at my side deck, there's no Demigra here. I lost that round. I wasn't able to respond to his Vegeto. It took so much time. Obviously, I did not saw Beast. It was the second last card of my deck. I was very unlucky yesterday, like I said. Very, very unlucky. Unexceptionally unlucky. Nowadays, I would just swap this for 3 copies of Demigra, because black is still a thing. I don't think that the Beyond All Limits hit did anything to any relevant black deck. I think even Xenogoku does not have a problem, to be honest, because it can still recycle with the Z Extra Gokus. Yes, you kinda miss the Vegeta playline, but to be honest, in a Xenogoku aggro deck, you rarely used that playline because your opponent needed to be at 3 or more energy. And you can still recycle a combo attack, a counterplay, whatever you like. So, it doesn't make sense. You don't burst enough. You will definitely see a Vegeto, let me tell you that. You will definitely see a Vegeto, so I think banning Beyond All Limits was just... I mean, whatever, it did not hit any black deck that hard, to be honest. It's not the reason why we don't see any black decks anymore. It's just like Vegeta is more fun. And also, like, whenever you ban a card, people are kind of like going away from decks without looking at them again. So I think it's not missing out anything. Yeah, this was the deck, how I played it yesterday. And now on to my changes, because I want to change stuff. I'm still a huge fan of the Gogeta here, and I still want to keep it, and I don't like Chilai, so I will just put Chilai out of the way and put a Vegeta in. I can play him turn 1, I can just let him stay there, especially if I go first, and then when my opponent attacks against me, I won't use him in a combo, I will use another card, and then on my turn I can self-awaken, also have a 15k double striker, which at the beginning of a turn kind of hurts. He's also a Vegeta, so I can play Gogeta still. I don't need to get him out of the way. Next thing I will change is definitely put a Oop in here. I think Vegeta is lacking, and I think Oop just does more. Oop removes blocker on play if your opponent has 3 or more energy. Everybody has tons of Z energy nowadays. Nobody cares about not having enough Z energy, because everybody's playing the new super combos as well. This counter effect is also just nice to have at least a little bit of value out of that. And you can also play 2 of him if you see 2, right? Because you just hardcast him. You don't play him via skill. Obviously, his limit 1 effect is not working anymore, but this effect will still work. So yeah, I think he's a better choice, especially with the also new Goku counter card, the green silver bullet for blue. He Z charges as well, so he's a good card. Then Z deck choices, like I said, I don't like Cell. so I will definitely opt him out for Beerus. He's cost intensive for 4 energy, but luckily if you're playing against black, and this is why you will most likely use this card, and he's on 6 lives, he does not have an answer to that because it has barrier, and then you swing once. Or if your opponent even has, what do I know, petrification, or 1 energy up, you don't play him. But yeah, it's the best answer I can imagine. I mean, come on, blue does not have good barrier removal. I'm desperate as well, right? I think this is the most crucial part about this deck. You need some kind of barrier removal. Put it on a boss monster. Let it cost 2. Let it just be played if you have 3 or less cards in hand. Make it archetype heavy. But this deck needs a barrier removal. And don't come at me with the shitty 8-drop Gohan Piccolo. You need to have 3 cards in your combo area, which you will only have in turn 2. Then you need 5 Z energy, which you won't have at the end of turn 2. Or 2 Z battle cards, which you also won't have in turn 2. So he needs to be played into, or he wants to be played in turn 2, but he won't survive the turn because he does not have any protection. And then when you're on 5 Z energy, he's not on the board anymore. Everything's wrong with this card. And then the next change is putting Vegeta out, putting Demigra in, and done. One last topic regarding the anniversary box support. I think the Annie box support is trash. Let's talk about the card. It's like 1 orange Piccolo. Obviously, this is not enough because everybody's orange nowadays. Wasn't he called Orange Piccolo? Then we're just going for this. He's just Piccolo. Orange strength. Okay. This card is really awkward. Really awkward. First off, what is your identity? You're an aggressive deck. You're an aggressive deck that likes to play Russian roulette. You're always throwing in your hand. You want to draw 3 new cards. And you want to push, 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 push. A card having so many weird conditions to play it really sucks. So, first of all, I mean, this is given. Your opponent needs to have 2 or more energy, which is stupid for an aggressive deck. Why the fuck? If it would be okay if it would be a boss monster, right? But you can play this earliest turn 3, maybe in your opponent's turn 2, but that's it. Then you draw 1. This is, I think, one of the coolest parts. So it's like Rosé, draw 1 and play this card. He's also like Rosé in the aspect that it has double strike 20k. And then when this card is played, send up to 3 blue cards from your hand to your warp, and at the end of the turn, all cards sent to the owner's warp by the skill to this card to the owner's hand. So the idea is quite simple. You play him, you warp your 3 cards in hand, and then you draw 3 new cards, and then at the end of the turn, you have 6 cards. Sounds good, right? It's shit in practice. Because it basically pushes you to play only blue cards, which I think is wrong in this deck, because you're missing out on Overwhelm and you're missing out of the Kai combo card, which are so huge cards. It's also like, why should I put cards away? It makes sense if you want to play extra cards, right? You don't get them out of hand, or you're playing cards that are stuck in your hand. Totally makes sense to get rid of them. But why should I want them back at a later point in stage? The only good scenario I'm thinking of is basically warping your secret in your opponent's turn and then letting come back in your turn. However, then your opponent knows that you have your secret in hand, and he will definitely respond differently to it than when you've not shown it to him, if you understand what I mean. So it's like, this card is awkward. Also, the activate battle timing is awkward. I mean, I was talking about the missing activate main for 1, 20k double strike. This is something the deck needs. Not so cost intensive, 1 energy double strike activate main that maybe redraws a card. You don't need any more effect on the card like this. Not any more effects, just 1 energy, 20k double strike. Everything you need. This is like activate battle for 1. If the stars are aligned right, your opponent has 2 more energy, you have a specific card in your combo area. It's like, I'm sorry. This card got me distracted on so many ways. I was playing him. This guy was responsible for me playing D-Magic at finals. And then everybody was playing anti-D-Magic hate at finals, and I was the saddest guy you could imagine. He never came out, just once or twice, because you need to play all in for the archetype, which I think is shit nowadays. It's not good anymore. The only argument can be made for maybe Piccolo the Infiltrator and Pan, but I think even their time fell off a little bit. So yeah, no, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think this card is good. The other card I want to talk about is the Gammas 1 and 2. So they are kinda okay. You can use your rest mode battle cards with superhero in their character names in combos. The cool thing about this is a 15k dual attack. When card is played, you can basically choose him, maybe Immortal Rivalry, and give them barrier until the end of your opponent's turn. And you can play him for 1 energy when your opponent or you have 3 or more energy. This is good, but the rest of the card is just trash. I'm sorry, it's also trash. I'm not feeling good about this card. Reason for this, it also like says, well, please play the archetype. I mean, which is fine if the archetype would be good. Barrier is a cool keyword. 15k dual attack is just 1 sense with just 1 Z-lead. Just something. It's worth nothing. Worst part about this card, he wants to be played with this one. So the idea is basically, you have 3 or more energy, you remove this card from the game, you choose the Gamma, it gets 10k power and triple strike. However, remember, you're an aggressive deck. You want to pressure. So when you want to awaken, you will most likely want to play him, because he's a swing. He also is a free combo for your untap. It's really good. He doesn't swing. I mean, you could try to swing with him, but he doesn't swing. Chances are also good, since we're in a barrier removal heavy meta, that this guy does not remain on board. So if you want to make that triple strike happen, most of the time you need to play him and you need to play Gamma in 1 turn. And then you have a 2-time attempt of a triple strike that works. Let me tell you, it won't work, because your opponent will combo out of it, or, even better, will negate it. And then you just wasted 3 energies for nothing. It can work, practice tells me it won't work. So I think the new archetype cards are shit. This one is the only one you want to use. It's a free 20k leader, which is awesome. It's a free draw 1, bottom deck 1, which is awesome. It has also the ability to be untapped, which is cool. You can think about using Monaka for the double strike. I don't like Monaka, but you can think about it. It gets removed, which is cool because you can do roulette again. This is really, really awesome. Yeah, guys, so these were 37 minutes of me rambling about Threehan. I still think it's a really good deck. The only thing it needs is a fucking barrier removal, because everything enters Mom nowadays has barrier and blocker in combination. I don't like this aspect. It's very hard against Black Vegito. It's very hard against Nova, but I guess Nova will get a hit to some degree. I'm hoping they will ban Annihilation, because this card never needed to exist. And I hope they will somehow hit the Haze. Please don't make it limit 1, because then again we will have a whole charismatic situation again, where you're not even considering playing card 7 cost or less, because your opponent has a Unison in play and he could have seen the magical second secret. Please don't make it again. Either ban it or change the text. Yeah, this was my talk about Threehan. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, feel free to discuss it with me. This is my pet deck. This is my most beloved deck. I will always play it. I will never discard it. I will always also have it in the highest rarity possible. Which then again, I hope I will get a serial card one day, either buying it or earning it myself. We will see. I mean, it's highly dependent on how many more regionals we will get, to be honest. I'm not considering driving to every single offline regional at every part in the world. Yeah, that's it from me. I wish you a wonderful rest of the weekend, guys, and see ya.